All right, so I'm only gonna work out 4 problems. There's only a total of 10, so I'm gonna do the first 4 odd problems, and you're responsible for the other 6. So let's look at number 1. It says write an expression in simplest form to represent the area of the rectangle. So now these are like application style problems. So if I have the area of a rectangle, remember what the formula is. Area is equal to length times width. Right? So look, they gave me a length and they gave me a width, right? So now we're just multiplying those two. That's how this goes. So I have 2x over x squared minus 12x plus 27. And I'm multiplying times x squared minus 81 over 4x cubed plus 36 x squared. All right, so what I see is just factor, right? So if I'm looking at this left side, I mean, I can't do anything with a 2x, but for the x squared minus 12x plus 27, I could factor that out. So let's do that. I'll just put it up here for now. I have an x and an x, and then 2 numbers that are multiplied to 27, but combined to give me a negative 12. So it looks like it's got to be 9 and 3. And it looks like they're both going to be negative, minus 9, minus 3. So I'm actually going to erase this part, and I'm just going to replace it with those 2 binomials. All right, I got x minus 9, and I got x minus 3. All right, now I'm looking at this top part, the x squared minus 81. So look, they're both perfect squares, right? That's the idea. X squared, square root of x squared is just x and x. Square root of 81 is 9. So now that part becomes, I'm looking at right here, this is going to become x and x. So I'm going to have a minus 9 and a plus 9. So I'm going to erase that and replace it with that. So I got x minus 9 and x plus 9. All right, and now if I want to factor out this denominator, what could I take out? So I got 4x cubed plus 36x squared. Looks like I could take out a 4 and then x cubed and x squared. They both got at least x squared in common. So now that leaves me with x plus 9. So I'm going to replace this with the new simplified factor. All right, I got 4x squared times x plus 9. All right, so now it's the same idea, right? So now we have this, think of it as just one long fraction, and now we can start canceling things out. So I got x minus 9 and x minus 9. I got x plus 9, x plus 9. And I have, okay, so now I have this 2x. Think of it this way. I have 2x over 4x squared. So let's put that here. 2x over 4x squared. So 2 over 4 simplifies to 1 over 2. I'll just put the 2 in the denominator. Then I have x to the first over x squared. So remember, it's 2 minus 1. So this becomes 2x. The only thing we have left is just this 1 in the numerator. So now I got, so I have a 1 over, and now it looks like I have this 2x times, and I have that x minus 3 left over. And that would be my answer. All right, let's do number 3. Let's erase this. All right. The area of a rectangle garden is a squared over b minus b, and the length is a over b plus 1. Write an expression to represent the width of the garden in simplest form. Okay, so it's telling us our area. So, I mean, just think about this. So they gave us the area, and they gave us the length. They want us to find the width. So we got to move some things around. Area is equal to length times width, but I'm trying to figure out what my width is, right? So that means I have to divide by my length. So now my width is equal to area over length. So that's how we're going to set this up. So it says the area is a squared over b minus b. Now this is going to be over my length, which is a over b plus 1. All right, and they want us to solve for the width. So, all right, so what I see first is we want like each of these expressions to have common denominators, right? So in order to do that, so this is really saying like b over 1, but I want it to be b over b. So to do that, I have to multiply this whole side by b, or by b. Okay, so now when I do that, I'm left with, should I rewrite this? Yeah, I'll rewrite it. Okay, so now when I multiply that left side by b, I'm left with, I got a squared over b minus, when I multiply b times b, that's going to give me b squared over b, right? And I mean, the way to think about this is you could just keep it as a squared minus b squared all over b, okay? Because we're not going to be combining the denominators, because in addition and subtraction, you don't combine the denominators, they just have to have a common denominator. So that's why we could just, it's okay to just put 1b under the 2. All right, then this is going to be, we'll put equals, we'll put this over, now I'm going to have a over b plus, now I need to do the same thing. I need my left side, I need this to have a b under it. But to do that, we got to multiply the entire thing by b. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by b, and now I have b over plus b over b. All right, so now we could simplify this part. Remember when you're dividing, look, we're dividing fractions, we're going to multiply times the reciprocal. And also with this part right here, we could just put this as a plus b all over b. So now we're going to multiply times the reciprocal. I'm going to bring this down. So I have a squared minus b squared over b. Then I'm going to multiply times, I'm flipping this, and I'm going to multiply it. So b over a plus b. Okay. So now we can kind of simplify, right? So if I'm just looking at this part right here, this is going to give me, so if I want to factor that out, if I want to simplify that, I could put this as a minus b times a plus b over b times b over a plus b. And now things are starting to pan out. So now I could cancel things out. Look, I could cancel out the b's. I could cancel out the a plus b. And the only thing I have left over is just this a minus b. So that's going to be my answer. I know they're confusing when there's literally no numbers, but I mean, that's how you just work these out. All right, let's do 5. It says write an expression to represent the volume of the rectangular prism shown in simplest form. All right, so volume of a rectangle. Remember, so volume is equal to length times width times height. So they give us the length, they give us the width, and they give us the height. So now we're just setting it up to where we're multiplying all three of those together. So that's what we'll do. I'll start off, it doesn't matter which one you start off with. So I'm gonna have 5x squared minus 32x plus 12 over 10x cubed. Then I'm gonna multiply that times, looks like 18x squared over 45x squared minus 18x times x squared plus 14x plus 48 over 36 minus x squared. All right, I mean, I just see a lot of factoring, right? It looks like we got to factor 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So there's some work to this. I'm going to work out this part first. Can I factor that? Can I take anything out? Is there a GCF? Can I, no, it doesn't look like I can. So it looks like I'm going to have to factor that by grouping. So that's what I'll do first. Let's erase some of this part. All right, I have 5x squared minus 32x plus 12. So remember to factor by grouping. We're going 5 times 12. That's going to give me 60. I'm going to bring down the 5x squared. All right, and now two numbers that multiply to 60, but combine to give us this negative 32. So it's going to give me a minus 30x minus 2x. And then I'm bringing down that 12. And now we group. So I'm going to close this off and close this off. And now I could factor a 5x out of here, and that leaves me with x minus 6. And then I could factor out a negative 2 here, and that's going to leave me with x minus 6. Remember these two have to equal each other. So if you factored it out properly, then those two should equal each other. All right, I'm left with 5x minus 2 times x minus 6. So I'm going to erase this part, and I'm going to replace it with that. All right, I have 5x minus 2 times x minus 6. All right, that was my first factor. Now I'm going to take care of this one. So what could I factor out of both of those? What goes into both? Looks like 9x is what I'm going to factor out. So if I take out the 9x, I'm left with 5x minus 2. So I'm going to erase that and replace it with that. So I have 9x times 5x minus 2. And now I'm going to do this last one. So I need two numbers that multiply to 48. Look, I know I'm not factoring by grouping because I don't have a number in front of the x, right? And I can't factor anything else. So this should just be a normal factor. So I'm going to have x and x. And then 48 looks like I got, looks like it's going to be 6 and 8. So I have x plus 6, x plus 8. So I'm going to erase this part. And now I got x plus 6, x plus 8. All right, and finally the last one, I'm going to factor that out. So I know I could factor this because 36 is a perfect square. And when you take the square root of x squared, it just gives you x, right? So they're both technically perfect squares. So if I factor that, now that's going to give me 6 and 6. Then I'm going to have a plus x and a minus x. So let's erase this part. All right, I have 6 plus x and 6 minus x. All right, so we're done factoring. Now let's just simplify. Again, when they're multiplying, again, just remember this is just one. This could just be one big fraction. All right, so what do we got? I'm going to do the 5x. Let's change the color so we keep up. 5x minus 2. What else could we do? All right, so I have this x. I got the x plus 6 and the 6 plus x. So I have the x minus 6 and the 6 minus x. But when we have that case, that actually makes this entire thing negative. It changes the sign. All right, and now I still have, okay, so I'm going to bring down everything I got left over. So I have this negative 1, and then I have 18x squared times x plus 8. Then over, looks like I still have 90 x to the 4th power. And that's it, right? So now when I go to simplify this, I'm just looking at these two. So 18 over 90. What goes into both those is 18. Let's see, 90 divided by 18. Okay, so I still have this -1, and now I still have my fraction. So I will have a 5 in the denominator. Then I have the x's. I got x squared over x to the 4th. So 4 minus 2 is going to give me x squared in the denominator. And then I'm going to have x plus 8 in the numerator. So I still have that negative sign. So what that negative sign is going to do is going to distribute everything in the numerator. So negative x minus 8. So my answer is negative x minus 8 over 5x squared. And that would be the answer. That was a lot of work. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 7. All right, it says write an expression to represent the perimeter of the rectangle in simplest form. Well, just remember, when you have perimeter of a rectangle, it's either all 4 sides added together, or you could just do 2 times length, or 2 times length plus width. You do that, or 2 times length plus 2 times width. Same idea. It all works. That's all fine. That all works. Okay. So we'll just follow this one. So I have 2 times x squared plus 8x all over x plus 5. And then plus 2 times 15 over x plus 5. All right, so once I simplify this out, this is going to give me, so I got 2x squared plus 16x plus, I'm just going to go straight across because they both have the same denominators and we're adding, so we could just go straight across. We could just combine the two. So plus 30, 2 times 15 is 30. Then all over x plus 5. All right, so once I factor, I noticed that all 3 of these are even numbers, so I'm going to factor out the 2. So if I take out the 2, I'm left with x squared plus 8x plus 15 over x plus 5. And let's simplify some more. So 2, I have an x and an x. So 2 numbers that multiply to 15, but add to 8, so 5 and 3. X plus 5, x plus 3. All over x plus 5. So now it cancels out. That cancels. I'm left with 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is plus 6. And that would be my perimeter. All right, that's it. You guys got to do the rest.